What's up YouTube? I am back with round 2 of Siege of Winterfell. This time it's against SHS. They are roughly the same size as us, 33 billion, but we actually outnumber them this time, which is a nice change. Their biggest player is a little over a billion, but I don't think he showed up. And next biggest is 900 million. He's Inf Spear, which counters our largest, who is Spear, but we've got plenty of strong Inf players who can deal with him, so it's not really a problem. I send both of my accounts to Armory to start with, and I think they send pretty much everyone to Armory because we get Hot Springs mostly uncontested. And while it is a big fight for Armory, it's not particularly dramatic and we do secure it fairly easily in the end. I recorded this match from both accounts' perspectives this time, and I'll just sort of occasionally switch back and forth between which one of them I'm actively playing, which one of them's in the action, that sort of thing. With Armory basically secured at this point, we'll march on up and take base 1, which is completely empty. And from there we will carry on to engage them in Stark Outpost, which is mostly just full of farms and inactive accounts, so they don't put up too much of a fight. The match looks like it's going pretty well at this point. We've got most of the map secured. Turns out that's because they sent literally everyone to get the resources, and we sent almost no one. So they get that secured, and they're on their way towards the only base that they currently control. This ends up being quite a hard-fought battle to get this bag off them. We do manage to drop the bag a few times, and for some reason they then start taking it up to the outpost rather than the base that was right there. I'm not really sure what their decision-making process was there. Like, they had that base secured, they had way more people in it than we had nearby. Then their next guy picks it up and starts heading back the opposite direction again. They probably could have got that bag secured if they'd just gone one direction to start with. But at this point I've got fresh armies on both accounts, so we're dealing a lot of damage, and we managed to drop the bag a few times, get it picked up and start running it towards the farthest away base, essentially, just because they're overwhelming in numbers just now. So I picked it up with the largest march on that account. Unfortunately, they've got a lot of inf people chasing me, so I'm taking a fair amount of damage. That army is getting pretty close to death at this point, but I have carried it halfway across the map, so I don't feel too bad about it. And by the time they do manage to drop the bag, they've basically only got one guy left chasing me, and he's got most of his armies almost dead, so it's basically secured at this point. So we get that bag dropped off and then head up to fight for Armory, which they managed to steal while we were focused on that. But it's just a 1 or 2 week guys, so there's no drama there. Get it taken back pretty easily. We get that secured and then go on to mop up the left side of the map before heading over for the bag, but they beat us to it, and their largest player has it this time, so it's a lot of work to get it dropped. We do manage to drop it, and I pick it up, and I plan to just run to the base directly below the one they were taking it to. Unfortunately, I end up clicking on it directly, and the auto-pathing takes me right past their base, and I get completely slaughtered. So they grab the second bag, basically give it to them for free. At this point, basically all of their armies are at base 2 though, so we keep fighting here and just try to take out as many as we can. They do put up a pretty good fight here, but this basically proves to be their last stand. I think the fact that we had Hot Springs for the first few engagements, I mean, most of their accounts has burnt out all of the heals already, so only their biggest guy and a couple other people who are willing to spend personal heals, and then just farm accounts who haven't been fighting. They're the only ones who have troops left at this point. Their big guy keeps trying to retreat and then run away and try and retreat again, so I just keep chasing him down until eventually it proves that he's just not worth it. He's not got any men left in that army anyway, so I just let him run it away. Probably would have been faster for him to let us kill it and then build a new one, but whatever. I decided to stay here and kill the rest of the armies that are at base 2. But as I said, at this point they've basically got nothing left, and we pick up the third bag uncontested. One guy does send his armies down to base 3 to fight for it, but they get overwhelmed pretty quickly. We march on to take Armory again, but the game is basically over at this point, and you know, just mopping up whatever small accounts they have left all over the map, waiting for the game to time out. We go on to pick up the fourth bag entirely uncontested as well, and that's basically the entire game. So there's our first win of the season. We don't quite get to our 80k points, but Can't complain too much. I'll quickly scroll through all of the points just in case anyone's interested. But that is it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Let me know how your second round went down below.